Good morning. It's Tuesday, April 7th. We're going to finish our still life today and add the pop. We're going to kind of make some darks darker, and if we need to, make some lights lighter. All right, let's get started. Okay, we're going to continue with this. Now, when you get back and look at something, a lot of times, after you look at it for a while, you say, something's wrong here. One of the things you can think in terms of, as far as with your vase, it's supposed to be the same on one side as it is on the other. And when I look at this one, I think in terms of I got this one sticking out a lot more than this one. So watch what happens. We can just take that and take some of that off and make that be part of our shading. So that we have both sides of our vase kind of looking the same. So you can kind of just make adjustments as you need to. All right, so we're going to start with the apple now, and then we may come back and add some more things to the vase also. I think the vase needs to only go down that far. All right, so we're going to apple. Our apple has some lines that are going this direction, so you can kind of get your pencil going this way. And it's darker down here and lighter. So we're going to kind of shade this direction. Now, we know that the background extends behind the apple too. So we're going to take our darker background behind this apple. But we also have the table, and the table goes lighter. So we've got a darker background behind the apple. And then our table is a lighter value, so it's not all the same. Now, my stem, I can't hardly see it, so I'm going to draw a little white area for my stem. So we're going to draw that stem out there and give it a little dark. It's going to have some light so it stands out in front of that background. And underneath on the bottom, you can see where the apple has a shadow underneath on the table to kind of ground it. So we're going to continue to put our little shadow into the apple. This is where you could have some nice music on in the background and just be real relaxed as you just continue to add shading. One of the things about pencil drawing is it really is not a fast drawing. It's more just relaxing, looking at what you're drawing and beginning to see the shapes, seeing the lights and the darks. And it just starts taking shape right before your eyes. As far as you first start out and you think, oh, that just doesn't look right. It just looks, but then the more layers that you put on, And the more you start seeing the lights and darks, it starts taking shape. It starts looking like an apple. So then you can say, well, I've got some highlights in here, so I'm going to put some highlights. And highlights are really easy to do when you have your pencil eraser. You just draw them with your eraser. Okay, moving on to the pear. We have lines that are going to go this direction. It's going to be a little more shadowed right underneath here. That's where some of it's kind of being shadowed by that apple with the light that we have here. Now, one of the things that's kind of distinctive on a pear is it has some dark dots. So you can put some, after you kind of shadow it, you can put some dark dots in it every once in a while just to kind of make it not be as smooth. It has some different texture. And then you kind of get back and you say, well, now let me look at my still life and see what kind of things that I need to do to finish it up. And you can kind of put the little details in it and say, oh, that needs a little bit more white on that side. Oh, I think maybe I've got that little bit too big, so I'm going to add some more shadow and take that out, make that a little bit more even. And the more you just kind of keep working it, you can make it smoother. You can add more things to it. You can take stuff off. You can add your shadows in there. Sometimes, even though you put the shadows and the highlights in there, then when you have played around on your picture for a while, it just seems like you lose some of it. So you have to kind of put a little bit more back in. And then you have a drawing. So enjoy, try some different ones, try different objects in your kitchen and your living room, put them together and just have a wonderful time drawing and practicing with your lights, your mediums, and your dark values. You guys are doing great. I'm so proud of you. Make sure that you do call somebody today. Check out a new skill on YouTube. There's all kinds of crafts that you can do to keep yourself busy. Let's keep being creative, and we'll get through this together. Wash your hands.